Hey, na, hey, na. Welcome to Star Songs. To start with a prayer. Prime Source, I ask that you come through very clearly today with the support needed and required for humanity, for the here and now across all times, dimensions, spaces and realities, for the purpose of bringing through a healing process through awareness, through words, through shared oneness that we are, in working with feeling homesick when it comes to what we perceive ourselves to be as stars, and our perception of time and space, our perception of the distance between a place to another place as the illusion of separation that we experience in the here and now through the dance of what we perceive as polarity of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, of what we experience and are anchoring in through our body nature technology, our human vessel, please support all those that are here in the present moment across all times, dimensions, spaces and realities that are witnessing this process from all places and spaces, from the past, present and future of this now. And I ask you to please bring through the beings that would like to communicate, the energies that would like to multidimensionally support with direct connection, also with all beings and teachers and wisdom keepers, but with a special request from the Vega constellation or Vega star, but also the Vega star gate has come through very strongly, wanting to bring through the message of this healing of homesickness and the perception of time and space. I ask if there is anything else that needs to be brought through all spaces, all places of my beingness, through my higher self or my expansive self, for the purpose of supporting, in serving, in sharing the love that we already are as the one being of the cosmic universe, the one song that we already are. Thank you so much, Prime Source, for facilitating this space and calling in all of the aspects of the Prime Source consciousness that we are in unity and in the unified field in the here and now. Thank you. By the power of three, a perfect trinity, let it be done, let it be done, let it be done. dog who is very desperate to come in, so I'm going to just pause and bring him in and let him settle so he can be a part of this. His name's Goose, and you can hear him crying in the background. He doesn't normally do this when I do this. The perfect example of what it is to perceive time and space through the human experience as separate is when we create perceptions of outcomes and we do not choose to be present in the now through what we perceive as the journey. And we lose sight of the all-beingness that we are. We are in unity. We are in the unified field. This concept of separation is purely perception. Perception is a great tool for the human experience. Though we tend to over-identify with perception to such a degree that we lose sight of our expansiveness. We lose sight of our togetherness. We lose sight of our unified light and unified dark in oneness. We lose sight of the unified love that we are across all spaces and times. When we, as humans, know that we are star-bound or star beings, star expressions, points of view that have built a level of light that fluctuates in the here and now, multidimensionally. It's easy to feel like, from perception, that we came from another place and that we are here on Earth as a separate place to where we came from. The truth is, from our perspective, from our star of perspective, or our multiple unified stars of perspective, from the one sky that we all share as one being, through the universe, the one song that we are, and in harmony with. That there are aspects of yourself across as many different points of views for the purpose of experience on many different star systems, and that includes Earth. You are existing in many different expressions of the one being we already are. When you perceive yourself to be from a specific star location only, often this is a perception that has been caught in separation and a belief that there is a part of you that wants to go back somewhere you already are. We exist as multidimensional beings. We exist as all frequencies of the one being we already are. Our realization of this is flawed at times based on our physical three-dimensional experience in terms of perception, not because of the three-dimensional experience itself purely, but the fragmentation of the awareness is expressing itself on such a dense level of frequency that it loses sight of the bigger picture of the one being they already are. The oneness that we are is often unexplainable. We perceive ourselves to be doing things outside of ourselves when we go for a run, when we go meet a friend. We perceive these things outside of ourselves. Though, in truth, these are inner alignments that are being expressed through a sort of projection of the continuum of what we perceive as time and space, the need to express oneself in that of a reflection of self through the physical. See the physical as a lake. The lake reflects back the experience the spirit is having on multiple planes. The lake is a reflection of all of these planes. Every part of our experience, or our perceived part, is a unified field in the here and now across all times, dimensions, spaces, and realities. And we cannot lose sight of the wisdom and beauty that we truly are through all of these expressions. And by creating separation in illusion through perception, by perceiving something to be separate or far away from oneself, we are losing the perspective of the wholeness of that we are. And this vibration will feel painful in points or at points. No thing is ever missing. No thing is ever lost or gone or past or future. Past or future are projections of the now, reverberated through frequency as a hall of mirrors, as we have explained in past videos. And when we perceive something to be outside of ourselves, it's actually being projected from within us. And the error of perception creates an experience of what we perceive as separation and what we will feel as discomfort. This discomfort is part of the contrast of experience in the here and now. And we chose to come here for the reflection of all there is, and all that we are, and all that we would like to explore, and all frequencies, even ones that feel unpleasant, are part of our being. Is it that the unpleasantness is happening to us or to you? Or is it that you are perceiving something to be separate from you and you create a sense of discomfort? The question needs to be asked regularly, daily in your time, space, reality. When we ask the question, is anything ever missing? We are often reminded, no, all things are exactly as they are. It is our perception that create what we perceive as organization of our experience of reality. When we recognize our multidimensional beingness, when we recognize and acknowledge ourselves having an experience of reflection of our beingness, we can pull our energies back into ourselves through our awareness, through our conscious intent, through that of realization. And we honor the one being we already are, and we can embrace a sense of fun, a sense of joy. In past videos, we've talked about, as a collective awareness of the one being we already are, just from different stars of points of view, as this is Star Songs. We are very much aware that that seems difficult to believe or understand from a human point of view in the three-dimensional reality at times. Though those of you who have already walked the path and recognize themselves as star-embodied will feel more comforted by this information. Information is informing. It's an inner formation of being that is expressed through the reflection of what we perceive as physical reality. Yes, three-dimensional perceptions can feel very individualized and complex. It can feel quite dense. Sometimes the heart will ache for being understood, for being supported, for being loved and truly recognized for who we truly are as the one being we always are. And many aspects of the one being for this time and space may have forgotten who they truly are in the oneness that they are. Their process is of remembering. The light, Ra, is the light shining, bringing us into the awareness of ourselves as the members of the one team of being we already always have been, we already are, and we always will be. Refracted light works on very expressive terms for the purpose of varied, multidimensional experience of reflection of self. We have many aspects situated on celestial bodies or stars of ourselves, stars of perspectives, spaces and places in the reflection of what we perceive as physical reality that we have spent time with. Each star is a collection of information that has been built from a certain point of view through the collective awareness of the one being we already are. We use the body, the human body, as an example. The acupressure and the acupuncture points are like star points. There are stargates within your body, and then there are rivers of electrical impulses and energies of information informing, passing through these many different stars of the cosmic being that you are. As above, so below, your physical body is a reflection of what we see as the night sky. As the starry night, we are seeing our body, the many points of views of our collective mind, the many experiences of stargates in the physical body as a reflection, the many spaces between of feeling as we go through the journey, as we find different realizations of the stars that we are from the skies that we always will be, always have been, always will honor through being in the present moment of the here and now. No matter where we perceive ourselves to be from, we ask you this question. Was there ever really a beginning, and was there ever really an end? Do things continue in the nowness of being? Does the one being ever really die? And do the many aspects of the one being ever truly die? Reformation, reconstitution, light transforms itself into darkness and darkness into light. This is the experience of the one being we already are. We are transforming, and yet we are completely still. We are one, yet we experience many different points of views through the eyes of many different beings, and not just human beings. There are galactic, cosmic, universal songs as part of the one song of universe that are singing in harmony together in a unified field that they are remembering themselves into. And this is our responsibility on Earth, or the reflection of physical reality that we perceive at this time, is to remember bringing the light to our membership of the oneness we already are. There are beings that we perceive as so advanced from a human point of view, who are astonished and in awe of the human race on many different levels, whether we perceive that to be negative or positive. That is still our third dimensional perception based on what we perceive as polarity in a very physical reflection of being. And it is difficult for us to see the unified field that we are a part of at times. When we start to trust in ourselves through recognizing the invisible field that we are dancing within together as one, then we can start to remove these perceptions of separation and start to honor our experience and why we chose to densify for the purpose of experience and fragment our consciousness, as the best words we can use right now. We could also say refract the light that we are for the purpose of experiencing individual expression of the one being we always have been, we always will be, and we already are. Staying in a belief system that keeps you in a sort of victimhood and doesn't honor why you chose to be in this space in the here and now on Earth at this time. You're multidimensional, therefore you are on many places at the same time simultaneously. Therefore this perception doesn't necessarily serve the greater picture of your soul, who is observing you in the nowness of your beingness on many different frequencies and dimensions as a part of its development of the oneness that we always have been, always will be, and always are. Staying in this victimhood, not to judge victimhood, because we understand that it is actually very painful coming to terms with the physical reality, and it is natural to feel despair and hopelessness at times. The key here is to remember you are light of the one being you always are, to look for the connection rather than the separation. Look for the synchronicities rather than the dissonance. Look for the unity rather than the perceived separation. Focusing on one point of perspective can be useful, but at times, if we over-identify with that one point of perspective, we call it our identity, and our identity then becomes fixed. It's not necessarily a negative experience every time, but it can keep you in the concept of separation. If we are too over-identified with certain parts of our perceived identity, we lose the connection to the unity that we always are. We are the one being of the universe, across many universes of the one being. We are the songs of the stars that sing from many different points of perspective, across the night sky, across the space, traveling through the suns as portals. We are everywhere, and we are held eternally by Prime Source as the universal one song we all are a part of, whether we realize this or not. We say, remember yourself as the light being and the darkness that hold the light being in perfect oneness. Whenever you feel homesick, remember your home is where your awareness is, and your awareness is in the now. And in the now, everything is multidimensional. And in the now, wherever you are in the multidimensional sphere of universe, you are in that moment. Look around. See the animals. Breathe in the air. Look at the humans. We are in the now, connected to every star system, in alignment with that of everything we are physically seeing as a reflection from the multi-dimensional oneness of our being. Do your best not to judge the experience that you're having and create versions of identity. See them as opportunities or containments that give you a vehicle of experience. But also do your best to see beyond them simultaneously, to live as if you are in the body, but beyond the body at the same time. Putting conditions on our experience creates the perception of separation. This can be a useful tool at times, but see it as a tool, a vehicle, or a container which allows you to have that particular type of experience, but don't lose yourself in that one thing. We laugh because it says one thing. We are the one thing. See beyond the one focus and recognize you are all focus. We leave you with this last phrase, which has been said before but is very relevant. What you are seeing is seeing you. What you are feeling is feeling you. What you are thinking is thinking you. What you are knowing is knowing you. Recognize the power, love, and wisdom of the one being you already are in the here and now, across all times, dimensions, spaces, and realities of your multidimensional beingness in the here and now. Thank you. We hope you enjoyed Star Songs.